Hey everybody! Welcome to another video of the Flowing Dutchman, and in this video we're going to do something else. As you can see, you are seeing me from here and I am seeing straight ahead on the road. I'm driving from Kolhapur to Hubli, going from Maharashtra to Karnataka. I'm going all the way south. Now I found out that this camera has an intercom, and when I rewatched some of the videos that I made about my trip, I realized that I heard my breathing. So then I realized there was a speaker. Then I realized I could make a vlog like this, and this makes it a lot easier. So thanks to Hardev Rana for letting me borrow his helmet with camera, because of him and Deathball Motors, you can now see me live and hear me talk on the road. So there we go. I just started about half an hour ago, driving here and on the road, and as I was driving, I kind of started to think about some of the things that happened in Kolhapur, about some of the buzz that I'm creating here in India, which is amazing and makes me just very grateful. This morning I went to Talim, in the south of India, or especially Maharashtra. The akhara is called Talim. So if you look for akhara, you won't find anything, but if you look for Talim, you'll find many places. Now, this morning I did something that I didn't really want to do. I got in very early, because yesterday I had a full day, but I arrived at the akhara at 8 a.m. in the morning, so that's very early in the morning. Oh, sorry, that's not too early in the morning. And at 8 a.m. the wrestlers were already finished. So I went to two akharas or two talims, and someone actually helped me capture some of the knowledge about it and some of the information, but I really had this idea that I was kind of missing out. And then during that same day, they said, come back in the afternoon. And I came back in the afternoon, but there was some kind of function, and it was also not really working out that well. They weren't really practicing, and I was like, oh damn, I'm missing out on, all the beautiful wrestlers here, and I almost have to go again, which I'm actually doing right now. So this morning I woke up at 5:30, and usually I will be trying to fall asleep again, but that didn't work out so well. So, whoa, okay, dangerous. So what happened is that I realized, okay, they're practicing from 4 a.m. every day to 7. So I had to be there at if I really wanted to, capture some of this beautiful art of wrestling. And so I decided to go and put away all the... Oh, wait a second. Oh, you feel it throughout your whole body when you go over these warning signs. The warning signs, as a side note, the warning signs in India, on India's road, are very interesting, because usually in the West we would have boards right up there, or left or right, and they say warning, warning, something's coming up. In India they make it very embodied. They embody the rules. So what that basically means is, if you don't follow the rules, you're going to break your bike. They have bike stoppers, these big humps, and whenever there's a junction, or whenever you have to go left or right, then they warn you with these very noticeable, how would you even call them, like white stripes, and you actually feel the stripes, so you're like so that's always it's very interesting. It's very intuitive, because in India they don't really listen so much. They don't really follow the rules that much. Of course, it depends per state, but in general, the Indian traffic isn't... Well, I could say that. Yeah, probably all the Indians would know that, especially the Indians that have gone to Western countries, they know that this is very unorganized compared to any other traffic that you'd witnessed in the West. So anyway, in the morning I decided to head to the Talim, and wow, what an amazing sight was that! Oh my God! All the wrestlers were there, and it was crazy busy. So there's in the Gangabesh Talim, which is one of the oldest Talims, which actually it's like 150 years old. Imagine a gymnasium. Like bodybuilding isn't even 60, 70 years old. And then you watch these akaras, which the actual gym, like it isn't even the practice, it's just the gym that is already 150 years old. So a very rich history, and everybody pays, you know, a lot of respect to their gurus, to the history of the akara, and to the religious aspect of it as well. Wait a second, which one do I have to go? I'll take the right one. COVID-19 checking is in progress. Uh-oh. Do I have to go on a COVID-19 test? Uh-oh, I hope not. I will just go, chalo, chalo. No, chalo. And, oh. Chaos. Okay. Yeah, so you're also viewing. Well, this is also a large part of my trip. You know, being on the bike. I'm traveling all the way from Gujarat, Bhavnagar, to Kochi. So that's a lot of kilometers. I think I've already done. Let's see. Almost 1,500 kilometers so far, so that's quite a bit, especially if you consider these roads where you don't really drive 100 kilometers per hour, you know, all the time. It's usually it's average. It's still average. Even if your bike is fast, it will average about 50 to 60 kilometers per hour because of these kinds of things where you have to go through the toll, you have to break down, and here's all the warning stripes again, and then. Oh, by the way, the bikes always have to go on the left side because you don't have to pay toll as a two-wheeler. But all the other wheelers, they do have to pay toll. And sometimes it can be a gigantic queue for all the trucks and cars. And then I'm also always so grateful that I'm actually on a two-wheeler because then you can just go, chalo, tikhe, chalo, tikhe. And then you don't have to pay anything, and you're basically going to skip the queue. So a good thing to consider if you're considering renting a bike or a car. But of course, not everybody is doing that because they rather take a train or a bus, which I can completely understand. You know, it's quite a hectic way of driving. But then again, you get used to it pretty quickly, and you understand why it is so chaotic pretty quickly. I'm talking so much about the road. This is fun. This is fun because normally I wouldn't talk so much about the traveling because, well, I'm listening to some kind of podcast or a book, and well, that would kind of take my mind away from all the thoughts that now protrude through my mind as I'm speaking to you. Are you still with me, guys? Still with me? I'm still with you. Good. So these old akaras, 150 years old. Wonderful, wonderful akaras. And Gangabesh Talim, what was that? Oh my God. You know, I'm in a privileged position because I know that not everybody would be able to get access to these, you know, very tight, closed communities. You know, these people, sometimes people say like, oh, I haven't seen this before, and wow, this is so unique, and yes it is, but that's their life. So they only see other wrestlers, they only see people because they're training all day. They're training 3-4 hours in the morning, then they sleep 3 hours, and then they train 3-4 hours in the evening. and in between they basically eat. So that's their life. So I've been a professional, nah, not a professional, but like I've been a serious rower for a year once, in which we had to train every day and you know, and at the study at the same time. So like a college freshman ate, and at that time I noticed and I learned that discipline is very important, and that's basically when I started to be very disciplined about my training. Even though I stopped rowing, I kept on training because I was motivated to become disciplined at something. So I started with training, and now I'm getting disciplined in multiple areas, like going to India and document it, which is still kind of a surreal thing that is going on. I'm here now for the 5th time, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Anyway, I was talking about the experience at the Gangabesh Talim and the communities that are very close. So my privileged position that I was able to capture it, and also my experience with these communities. I kind of know what I understand and know how they operate. So if you crack a joke here and there and tickle them a little bit and let them tickle you a little bit, then you get this bond with people quite quickly, and I noticed that is one of my, well, it is a talent, or at least something that I can do, which makes it possible to have these deep experiences with these cultures and different practices. And well, yeah, I'm very grateful that I'm able to use that talent in this way, because the vibe that I get, and I hope you also see this in the documentaries and videos, and maybe that's also a reason why people like them so much, because they get a perspective of these tight communities that they would never experience themselves, because they are busy investing time in their own community. Like we're all investing time in some type of community or some type of practice where we get people together, right? And being an outsider is not always pleasant, and being an insider is always good, but then you have never the experience of being in another community and culture, and that is of course something that, well, that happens on every level. Either we're talking about politics, about sport, about religion, everywhere people trying to meet other people that have similarities and build community out of that, because we are social human beings. Oh my god, talking about this experience takes a long time. I'm really starting to rant over here. So, still with me, guys? Good. What do you think of the road? Pretty cool, huh? I'm driving about 90 kilometers here, so that's basically, you won't find too many vehicles driving a lot faster than that. Mainly it's 90 to 100 max, and if you have like one of these scooters, then it's like 50, 60. My old Royal Enfield was not able to go faster than 60, 65. Even though the speedometer was going to 70, 80, it was still showing on the map that I was going 60 to 65. The difference between 60 and 80 was about 5 kilometers in real speed. And that's an old model Enfield. So the fact that I'm now able to drive this Enfield from Defbal Motors Bhavnagar makes my trip so much more comfortable. The suspension is better, the power is better, brakes are better, especially the brakes, because I had only a disc brake on the front, which wasn't that powerful, but the back one was really terrible. And with this one, I noticed that I can stop pretty quickly, which is sometimes necessary, because not all the trucks and cars have proper lights. As you can see, sometimes they have brake lights, but So, yeah, they don't always have brake lights. So when they then suddenly you see them, they come to you very quickly because they're braking very hard, but you don't notice why and how, because you can't see through the traffic, and there's probably some kind of speed bump or a sign or a crossing or someone making a strange observation, and then it's very necessary to be able to brake quickly, and I wasn't able to do that with my prior bike, and did have a small accident before because of that. I think 2 even. I've made quite a lot of kilometers on these roads now, so. But so far with this bike, it's all clean and it's all good. Look at this, look at this. This would have never been able to do with the other bike. You start to feel like a Superman once you go fast. But then again, it's only 100 kilometers per hour. So, but for the Indian roads, that's impressive. For me back home, that's not so impressive. Here we have a lot of the bikes aren't so powerful because the roads were never made to go faster than 60, 70. So the old model Enfields were perfect for the old roads, but now they're starting to get more of these types of highways that go a lot quicker. Or you can go a lot quicker, but then again, if your bike will not go fast, then yeah, it feels like you're going pretty slow, which is not always something that's very nice when you have so much to do. You want to do so much, like in so little time. You want to do so much, like I'm doing right now, going all the way to the south. And I hope the audio is still good because I'm driving pretty quickly. If not, sorry guys. The experience in Kolhapur, I think after a few of these vlogs, I've talked about so many things already that it will be more about the topic specifically. But right now, I feel like I got to say a lot about the traffic and the roads. It's also on my mind a lot right now because I'm actually on the road. So the unique experience in Kolhapur, and I'll add some pictures after I edit this video, and you can see that it is so raw, so pure. They're friendly, and with all the other practices, I just noticed that, you know, as human beings, we want to be seen and heard, and sometimes that in these tight communities, you are seen and heard by people from the same community, but not so much of people from other communities because it's so tight. And because of that, specifically because of that fact, they really like it when someone actually pays attention to what they're doing. So they become very proud and they're like, oh, yeah, that's it. They become very, you see it in their eyes, they glow up. The joy of someone actually paying attention, someone that comes to what they're doing and actually looks at them instead of them. You know, that happens in India quite a bit, that they look up to, for example, foreigners or people from other countries on YouTube or Instagram, and they look up to them, and then suddenly someone is there that actually looks up to them and wants to know their stories, wants to experience what they experience, and that kind of, and I hope to bring that to these tight communities, that they feel that they are noticed, you know, that they are heard, because I think it's important, because it's now possible for everybody to see it and to witness it, but they haven't really got onto that idea yet. They will soon. So I'm driving now to Ubli. I think I've made quite the rant already, and if you're still with me, well, that means that I got to do this more often. So if you feel like this was worthwhile and you want to hear more, and if you have questions that you'd like me to answer while I'm driving here on these roads, please, in the description No. I mean, in the comments, put your comments. And if you want to view my current trip, very good, then please watch my Instagram. YouTube, I will upload all the videos later because my days are so full that I have no time to fully pay attention to editing. So right now, it's all on Instagram. And after that, it will be a lot on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this first motor vlog, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, ram ram.